Hello. Hello. Welcome. Welcome. Good morning. My name is Ashley Ulmer. I'm your lay leader this morning. Getting waves in the back. Yay. Welcome to the West Hills Unitarian Universalist Fellowship, affectionately known as WOOF, where we hope that you continue to join us as we live out our mission, being a loving community of seekers, striving to live with integrity, nurture wonder, and inspire actions that transform us and transform the world. We are so glad that you sought community and found yourself right here this morning. Whether you're streaming online or maybe you're sitting with a friend for coffee downstairs, maybe you've gone to the Enchanting Forest Hall, which is the room right past the kitchen downstairs, where there's lower lights and beautiful views, if you find that an energy and an environment you'd rather be in for this service time together. Make sure that you email the administrator through our website to get connected to the e-blast that goes out on Mondays, summarizing upcoming activities and opportunities to connect. And then, of course, the bulletin board, which is where you can communicate freely with each other as well. And stay for coffee hour downstairs, or there's a virtual coffee hour as well in your order of service that went out by email. One of our greatest attributes at WOOF is collectively being a people who are compassionate, curious, and justice-seeking. And today, we take a close look at reproductive justice, especially for Black women and their families. Today, it is my honor and gratitude to welcome Dr. Roberta Suzette Hunte, using pronouns she, her. Dr. Hunt is an associate professor at Portland State University in Child, Youth, and Family Studies, and affiliate faculty in Black Studies and Women, Gender, and Sexuality Studies. In addition to being a mother, and she's brought her two precious little boys here, a cultural worker, an educator, and an advocate, her research focuses on community-based interventions to address maternal health disparities. She is founder of Black Futures Initiative for Perinatal Health, a Black birth justice organization closing the gap on maternal health disparities. So we look forward to hearing her speak today, and welcome Dr. Hunt from Black Futures. Now, as we love, let's take a moment to greet each other and ask each other, what did you observe or demonstrate for resilience this week? Stand and greet each other for a couple minutes. Of course, we want you to continue these lively conversations downstairs after the service. We have the coffee hour. Good times at coffee hour. And it's always good news when we see Karen here on stage with the board announcement and strategic plan update. I know many of you are waiting with bated breath to hear what's next and what's going on, so I'll turn it over to Karen.
Thank you, Ashley. So good morning. My name's Karen Stratton, and my pronouns are she and her. And I am the board president this year at WOOF, and for anybody who is not aware of that, because we have a lot of new people. But I did want to offer an update on two important things that are going on. The first is that in following our strategic plan, of course, we're concerned and loving our growth, but how do we handle that? And in the fall, you heard Kay Kreider talk about possible capital campaign to perhaps make our buildings bigger or more effective for how we want to use them. So the board organized a design build team, is what we're calling it, to get going on our potential building project. And this team is charged with gathering opinions from all of you about how we can expand or modify our campus to handle our membership growth and further our mission. It's not just that we want to be bigger or that we want to have a nicer looking building, but we want to serve our mission, which is to be here for people who need what we offer, the community and the place to worship. So this team will use in-person conversations, which will be, I believe, in mid-March. Hold on, I lost my place. A survey, which will come out to everybody. And starting today, we have an information table downstairs in the coffee room. So please go see them and help us identify and prioritize our hopes. At the same time that the team is gathering priorities from the congregation, the team is also identifying and settling on a potential architect should we go forward. This architect will be asked to prepare some sketches and preliminary cost estimates for the team to present to the board first in August. So this is, it's going to take a while. First, we gather all the information from you, talking to architects, having them come here, preparing sketches. It's going to take us that 6-month period of time. And then if the board approves what the architect and the team propose, then we will be bringing it to the congregation in September for approval. And should the congregation approve that, then the next step, as you might remember that Kay Kreider talked about, is a financial feasibility study. Then we hire her to come in to talk to a good selection of our members about how much they could potentially contribute to the project to see if it's financially feasible. Because of course we don't want to go all the way down the road and find out, well, people really like the idea but don't want to support it financially. That wouldn't be a good idea. So, pardon me?
Not able to.
Or able, yes. There's many ways to support a building project. So anyway, I hope you understand from this explanation that we are working carefully but also expeditiously to address our growth. So the next thing I would like to do is to introduce the members of the team. I hope they're all here this morning. There are two co-chairs, Gary Joquin. Please stand up, he's in the back. And he's also our board secretary. And Suzanne Riles, who is a longtime WOOF member and former chair of other long-range planning teams. So we're very grateful they stepped forward with their leadership to lead this team. And then other members of the team include Matt Shiwi, who's right there. He's a retired architect. Craig Towers, retired staff member at First Unitarian and retired graphic designer. And Rick Tangeman. He's downstairs, but many of you know Rick. He's a longtime member, and he's our buildings team chair. So thank you so much to that team. They are so hardworking. I'm just so impressed. And I'm sorry to keep going with announcements when you didn't come here for that. But I wanted to talk about how we're handling the work of WOOF while our beloved administrator is out on medical leave. And I wanted to make sure you knew some of the key people who are doing that work so that you can show your gratitude to them. So it's Kim Transier. Stand up, please, Kim, is handling our room reservations. So if you need a room reserved for any kind of a group, you should be sending, if you send the request to admin@woof.org, it actually goes to Kim, and she handles that calendar. She also handles the order of service, so that it comes out to us every Sunday morning, and that we have the written one here. So thank you so much, Kim. Secondly is Ange Javins, not in the house. But she's updating our website and making sure it's up to date. Again, if you have any problems with the website, and it's Paisley's mom, right? If you have any problems with the website, please send a note to admin@woof.org, and it will get to her so she knows that maybe there's a broken link or something. That would be great. Elisa Joquin is in the back, also known as Robin, is creating and maintaining our e-blast and our other social media, keeping it up to date. So thank you so much, Elisa. Roger Golliver, who happens to be my husband, is handling new member and visitor information into our database, sending out the pledge statements and the tax statements that came out this week. So if you didn't get a correct tax statement, again, contact admin. It will go to Roger, and he'll be in touch with you. He's also, along with Paul Bates, I know Paul's here too, right there, handling the Sunday morning 9:30 be in the office in case people walk in and need something, and also after the service too. So those two are trading back and forth. Mary Usui, is Mary here? She is our former treasurer from a number of years ago, but she is updating our database with checks and cash that come in and handling deposits with the bank. And Rick Tangeman, again downstairs. Trish Neitzel, is she here? No. They are taking care of rental management. We get a lot of calls, and of course we have a lot of renters through the weeks, and that takes a lot of work. So Annie Vigilios, Annie here today? In the back, Vigileos, sorry, is responding to and forwarding the admin emails and keeping track of everyone to make sure we aren't stepping on each other's toes, which, as you can imagine, is hard with all these people trying to do little pieces of one job. So I hope I haven't forgotten anyone. And if I have, it's because your work is so seamless that I am not aware of it, which is a great thing, and I am so grateful to all of you. Let's give them all a hand.
And just to tack on one little thing, it came to our attention this week that the second service, how many of you are aware that we're trying to, before we can enact a new building plan, do 2 services? Anybody know about that? So we're taking a really close look at that, and the team that's doing that needs some people. So if anybody has been involved in a second service planning in the past at another congregation, or is interested in helping influence the essence of the services and the flow of the services, who's a good operational person, feel free to email the admin or speak to Tracy when you see her next. So now all the announcements are done, and we're going to settle in and light our chalice. If Ada, would you like to come light our chalice? Thank you. We call this light before us in hope that we may always remain a strong community, working together to make the world a better place. And now let's say our affirmation together. Let us open our eyes to see what is beautiful and what is wondrous. Let us open our minds to learn what is true and what is mysterious. Let us open our hearts to love ourselves and our neighbors. As we come into focus this morning, I'll share thoughts of Angela Davis, an American political activist, scholar, and author, has poignantly said, if we do not know how to meaningfully talk about racism, our actions will move in misleading ways or directions. Her advice is that we should seek out all the doors which still remain ajar, however slight the opening may be. And to be clear, Anais Nin describes the tension that exists around change, saying that the day comes when the risk to remain tight in a bud is more painful than the risk it takes to blossom. Kara will lead us, and let's stand and sing We Shall Overcome. The lyrics on your slides.
We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday. We are not afraid. We are not afraid. We are not afraid today. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we are not afraid today. We are alone. We are not alone. We are not alone today. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe that we shall overcome someday. We'll walk hand in hand. We'll walk hand in hand. We'll walk hand in hand someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe that we'll walk hand in hand someday.
Thank you, Kara. Thank you so much. I love that song. WOOF is, as we go into gratitude and giving, WOOF is a robust community because of the way that we commune here. We can have such joy just between you and that one friend. Or there's the potlucks, or the chalice circles, or the grounds committee, the CareNet, the social justice team. All the committees have space and open arms. But it is because of all the people who want to fill their time here, making a huge contribution of talent, energy, and relationship at WOOF. We're honored to receive financial gifts as well. Some give now and again, some weekly, some monthly, some in their estate at the end of life. And those are all ways supporting WOOF's commitment to making many impacts within our community and the outside world where we love. So now the ushers will come and take the offering this morning, including our guest ushers, Paisley and Nora. Okay. Thank you. Thank you all very much. Let us say our affirmation of gratitude and giving. Let us be grateful when we are able to give, for many do not have that privilege. Let us be grateful for all those who share their gifts with us, for we are enriched by their giving. And let us be grateful even for our needs, so that we may learn from the generosity of others. Time for all ages. So we just want to say thank you to Richard and Kim, who were willing to play a beautiful song for us this morning, but Richard became unwell, and so that's not happening, although it is on your order of service, but we'll put a pin in it because we want to hear that one. So we'll go Time for All Ages. This morning is also a little different. We have From the Mouth of Babes this morning. I thought we would open it up. Izzy is also not here today, her regular day off. And so I wanted to hear from the kiddos today. And so Paisley has written for us a little something, a big something actually.
Hello.
Paisley will share.
So I wrote this a couple weeks ago. It's called One Little Voice, and it's a piece of my own writing about the world today. To all my fighters, to all my fighters, lawbreakers, and deniers, this is for you. They say fight for your rights, then what are we fighting for? Held back, held down, left unaccounted for. Watching the suffering all around us, yet too scared and too nervous to speak out. Because if we speak out, you'll only get silenced, injured or killed by all of the violence. But why should every little girl and boy go to school scared? We're not paranoid. Because all of this is one pointless, lazy last attempt to get all the power and fill in that hole. So stand by me in strength and listen as I say we can make tomorrow a better today. And so what if they think I'm wise past my age? We will not listen to what they all say, the lies, the cover-ups, and all of the fear. If we stand, we can make it all disappear. Because when the world is all silent, even one voice becomes powerful. A quote from Malala. So as I stand up, I hope you will join, because the whole world can change with one little voice.
So thankful. Paisley, thank you. So now we will sing our children out, and maybe a little a cappella this morning. Let's see, we'll get a little starter here. Ready? And we loved you in our love as you go, as you go. May your heart be at peace as you go. To nurture the spark of your precious life. We hold you in our love as you go, as you go. Now the part so many people love, so many people I think come for the ability to express their joys and sorrows. There seems to be a prevalence of pain and sorrow in recent times. So many things out of control. So much emotional output needed every day. It's hard not to shut off and lose hope. For many, it's hard to breathe, to eat, to sleep, and sometimes, especially for those who just don't feel safe, which is an increasing number of people along many groups in our culture. We have to be gentle with ourselves, but don't be deterred from expressing joy, seeing joy. Don't lose sight of the glimmer in the eyes of a gleeful little child or the spark of a precious beloved. Don't forget that there's joy in sunbreaks and early sprouting bulbs and in waking up to fight for what's right in this world. Here with open arms, we are all of that. We can hold the burdens and we can celebrate the joys. And in this ritual, we just take first a moment of silence to have our thoughts and feelings. And then after that, the music will start to play. And if you want to come up this aisle and down this aisle and choose a stone to drop in the bowl of water that symbolizes how we hold each other. If you would like to say a brief word, a couple words, that's fine. If you would like to drop your stone in quiet, that's fine as well. So take a moment and just be.
Hello, hello.
I'm Noreen, and my older brother Ted in New York has had some health issues, and they haven't been able to figure out what was going on, but they finally did, and he's going in for a pacemaker this week, and he's very anxious about it, so please keep Ted in your thoughts and prayers.
For the safety of our protesters.
For the safety of our protesters.
For the Walk for Peace, if you haven't heard about it, it's 20 Buddhist monks walking across the entire country, 2,300 miles, and everywhere they go, they just inspire love and hope, and I'm just praying for their safety and their health.
For my friend Ryan, who's had a major setback in his health this week.
This is for a very dear and old friend, and a joy that he's visiting right now, but a deep sadness that we just found out that he's going to need a liver transplant and is not doing well.
This is a stone for my extended family. I was with them for 10 days in Washington, D.C. this last couple of weeks. And it was so nice seeing them. And I also got to see our nation's capital during Snowmageddon. It was beautiful.
Today is Imbolc, halfway to spring. The world awakens.
I have a joy that we have found new resources for my daughter's health that she's receptive to, and it's wonderful.
My Uncle Paul has Lewy body disease and is probably going into hospice care soon, and we're not ready for that.
I've been to 2 memorial services in the last 2 months, one for a dear friend and one for my auntie, and I'm remembering them with love.
Okay. Thank you all for sharing. This is one last stone here for all those unspoken. stay seated. Stay seated while we sing Come Sing a Song with Me.
Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me, that I might know you're mine. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love that grows in the winter time. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me, that I might know you're mine. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love that arose in the winter time. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me, that I might know you're mine. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love that arose in the winter time. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me, that I might know you're mine. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love that arose in the winter time.
Join me in welcoming Dr. Roberta Suzette Hunte of Black Futures Perinatal Health Initiative. Have your 15 or your 20, whatever you want, and then we'll do the mic. That's right. We will be passing the mic for Q&A after. So mind your ideas.
All right. All right. So before I start, to make sure, you always have to give the academic a timer. And really, everybody should have a timer. But I did have this very sweet 5-year-old who I was like, okay, I'm bringing out the timer. And she said, not the timer! And I've thought about that. I've thought about that a lot. Yeah. So, but before I begin, I want to ask you, just so that I'm in touch with your desires, give me 3 questions that you have about Black maternal health. Oh, I'm interactive. Yeah. I feel like I saw your little hand peep up. Yeah.
I'll repeat your question. If you say it, I have a microphone. I can repeat it. Let's see.
Has there been any improvement at all?
Okay.
I know that this has been an issue, that Black women's maternal health is a problem. And I'm wondering if there have been any improvements.
Okay. Great. And then there's this hand over here.
I'm curious about a general history in the United States about the differences in, or the inequities in. Exactly, thank you.
Are we really as good as we say we are? Yeah. No. Surprise!
Does Portland have easy, accessible resources for them?
Okay. All right, and one more, and then I'll start.
Is the insurance situation contributing or causing poor outcomes?
Yeah. So, all right, great questions. So my name is Roberta Suzette Hunte. She, her, she, they pronouns. And I am, I'm a professor at Portland State. I teach in Child, Youth, and Family Studies, and I do maternal health research with community-based interventions to address maternal health disparities. I'm a researcher, is how I enter the story. And as a researcher, I brought together a group of Black birthing people, public health folks, and birth workers, insurance folks, to talk about an agenda for Black maternal health in Oregon. So we met over about 5 months in 2003, I think, and time blends. And this group said, it was a group of about 30 people that participated over time, and they said the things that we need as an agenda for Black maternal health in Oregon, we need more Black folks as part of the perinatal health workforce at all levels. So as doulas, as community health workers, as midwives, and we need more midwives. As nurses, naturopathic, NDs, but nurse practitioners, doctors, right? We need that whole continuum, lactation consultants, mental health workers. We need people to be in this workforce, and we need to make sure that they're adequately paid so that they can stay, right? We know that doulas struggle with payment and burn out quickly. We also know that doulas and midwives, doula-assisted births and midwife-assisted births have better outcomes, shorter hospital stays, and are long-term better for everyone. And that they said we need housing support for birthing people. We can't keep evicting pregnant people and babies. And we do that here. We need substance use support for birthing people. The stigma is, if you're pregnant, well, you shouldn't be pregnant on used drugs, and your baby should be taken from you. What we know is that when we can hold someone who is using substances while they're pregnant, this is an opportunity for some of the most profound change that can happen in their life and has generational impacts. Right? This is not the time to take hands off, it's the time to hold, bring in, and help someone transform something they haven't been able to themselves up to that point. If you would like a resource, Project Nurture, the work of Project Nurture, you can look it up. They're doing really good work. I think it's Jackson County, 94% success rate with birthing people getting off substances and keeping their children. And people said we need economic support. Like people just need more money in their pocket. And that they can do a lot with that. We also need a birth center. We need a place where people that look like us are helping us have our babies, right? So they call it racial concordance. The interesting thing for white people, especially in our state, most white people experience racial concordance a lot, right? So it's looking at somebody who just looks like you. Whether you agree with them or not is not the point. In fact, the beauty is that you don't need to agree, but that you see yourself in different iterations of you, of us. It's not the be-all, end-all, but it's a part of our development. So they said, we want to do all those things, and we want you to help us do it. And I thought, oh, I am a researcher. And my job is to listen to people. And they're like, well, but you do stuff, so your job is also to help us do stuff. So I said, okay, fine. So we started this group, Black Futures for Perinatal Health. And Black Futures, what we're working to establish is a birth center here. What we are starting to focus on is 1 day of service of perinatal care through a nurse practitioner, not a nurse practitioner, an ND, Dr. Nadia English Williams. And the work is to connect people with perinatal care, right? What we know is while we focus so heavily on birth and the birth experience, what we know is that truly helping people, birthing people have good pregnancies and births, and then an extended postpartum period, what we know people need is wraparound care. It can't just be one moment a month that you walk into some doctor's office for 15 minutes and leave, right? So that is our work. That's what we're working to fund. We're working to fund our midwife and our doula community health worker to work alongside her. And hopefully we'll be able to pilot some of that work over this year. Now, Black Futures is kind of how I'm thinking of it, as this is a intervention that we are working on, a community-driven intervention. A general history in the US. So, Black maternal health, Black folks used to be the midwives, right? We used to be the midwives. We used to birth our babies. We used to birth white people's babies. Birth was our business. And as gynecology began to grow, and also we think about Dr. Sims, the grandfather of gynecology, who developed his instruments on enslaved women's bodies without anesthetic. And so we have been a part of this since we were brought to this country. And our wombs have been a part of the capitalist machine, right? So we think about when doctors became the leading force in maternity care, being a midwife became illegal. So we went from so many midwives as part of our healthcare to those midwives becoming considered dirty, pushed out, imprisoned. Even somebody walking with a bag. So I think about this in the 40s. Somebody walking with a bag that had herbs. If your bag was searched, you could be imprisoned for that because you're practicing midwifery, right? So, and what we also think about with midwifery and the ways it was pushed out, the medical industrial complex said, okay, we can take nurses, we can take some midwives. So some white midwives were able to keep working under the umbrella of the medical industrial complex, while black midwives, the standard was made incredibly high, higher than it was for white, and eventually pushed out almost completely, right? So I think a lot about midwives, and I think of the salmon, right? Like, we know that our rivers are healthy when the salmon flows. And we know that what gets in the way are dams and pollution and interventions to the water that are seriously unhealthy. But we know when we shift our behavior, we can make space for growth. And I do think that in relation to midwifery, that we must make space for growth, because the model we have is too expensive, it's dangerous, and while we think it gives us the best health care and best outcomes for maternity care, it doesn't. So in many ways, what we are really interested in is thinking about inverting our healthcare system, because where we're at is we say OBGs are the base, right? They're the front lines. And we want midwives and doulas and community health workers as the front lines, as the base. And then when you need the OB care, which I did through all three of my pregnancies. I've had 1 stillbirth and 2 live births. And I'm here through postpartum preeclampsia and gestational diabetes. So I get it. However, not everybody is high risk, right? We all were born. Some of us had an easier time making it than others. But what we know is that the more that we can normalize birth and healthy birth practices, the better outcomes we'll have for everyone. So for Black folks, what we experience, we experience 2 to 3 times higher chance of maternal mortality, death, than our white counterparts. Though I don't like comparing to white people, I think it's better to think about just the national average, but this is how we sometimes talk about these things. We also, our babies have a 1.5 to 2 times higher chance of not making it to their first birthday. So what we really want to think about, you know, I sometimes feel I don't do baby showers. I really celebrate after the mama and the baby have moved through that transition safely, and I really celebrate that first year. Like, you did that thing. Mazel tov. So we have those disparities. Insurance is an issue. So, you know, we think about the Medicare expansion. Was Medicare, right? Medicare expansion? Medicaid? I always get it wrong. Who goes where? But the health insurance expansion, that actually reduced maternal mortality and infant mortality in our country. There are 2 countries in the world where maternal mortality and infant mortality is increasing, and we are one of those 2. Right? So I really want people to hold that. As we're talking about Black maternal health, we really need to get that we, as a collective, are not well. And my hope in this moment of fascism that we are in is that this is a moment where some of our walls can get broken down and we can see each other in each other's struggles, because those struggles are shared. One of the key complaints that, the key issues impacting Black maternal health, one is birthing people not being listened to, right? So coming into the hospital saying something's wrong, you're fine, go home, right? That's how I lost my daughter. Isadora was her name. And I also hold that others in this room have lost, right? As we think about birth, it is not, while it is beautiful, it can also be a site of great grief. And I hold you. And we think about this not being listened to and the implications of that. Receiving too much medical care or too little medical care. Being criminalized as they come into the place of care, either being considered violent or a stigmatized in some way, shape, or form, which pushes them out of care. There is a history of obstetric racism, that's a term, and one of the ways that obstetric racism shows up is myths about the Black body. So as we think about healthcare in our country, our ideas of the body still have eugenic roots. So from enslavement, this idea of the Black body as strong, inherently strong, and stronger than the white body, more able to birth, obstetric hardiness, that Black folks can just pop out babies all the time. And when you think about slavery, enslavement asks that people birth, that they get pregnant, that they birth, that they get pregnant, and produce commodities, right? The violence of that. What we also see is that obstetric hardiness, that notion, which is false, it's like, how can we be so hardy and have high rates of, have high risk pregnancies, right? So hypertension being one of the leading causes of death and cardiovascular issues. Now, I also want to say that for that one of the leading causes of death for all birthing people is substance use, overdose, and suicide. So we want to hold our people, right? And also there is this idea of weathering, the premature aging of the body because of chronic stress. And racism is chronic stress. Poverty, war, chronic stress. These things make us older, right? So I talked to, the myth is Black don't crack, and it's really about lotion. Everybody needs lotion. But that was a joke. It was humor. Thank you. But it's also a public service announcement. But what I always say is, we may not crack on the outside, but we sure are on the inside. And that's also why we're dying at faster rates. Right? And we think about stigmatized groups, and to stigmatize is also to shorten a life. Right? And we resist. So, is insurance contributing? Yes, I do believe that we need healthcare for all, and the system we have is no good. Any improvement? So I think what's a major improvement, so reproductive justice is the right to have a child, the right not to have a child, the right to parent the children we have in a safe and sustainable environment, free of state, environmental, and community violence. Right? So we do not have that. And bodily autonomy, that my body is mine and I make the choices for my body. And Black women started the reproductive justice movement, and women of color said, wait a minute, like our interests are here as well. And queer and trans folks said, wait a minute, we're here too. And so this movement holds a lot of us, right? And I, as I'm raising little boy children, like, this holds you too. And so Black women have kind of moved into a place of talking about birth justice, that at the site of birth, the birthing person must be the center of the experience. It cannot be about what a doctor wants. It must be about what the birthing person wants, needs to bring this life through. And so that is where I see a lot of exciting work happening, both in terms of educating people about reproductive justice and maternity care in this country, and ways that people are centering birthing people in birth, the ways that they are addressing racism and sexism and economic injustice in the reproductive space. Right? Like, being poor can mean you lose your child. Right? That is a failure. Right? And so we think about how do we hold a holistic vision of what it means to have healthy babies and healthy pregnancies, right? And how to heal. So that's what I think about. Does Portland have easily accessible resources? We do have some. The March of Dimes gives Oregon a B. I think they give us a B for maternity care. And we're one of the, we have a strong midwifery kind of advocacy, and we have a birth center advocacy. I would say that people of color don't get to participate as much in the benefits of midwifery care or birth centers. And so there is a stronger need to really, how do we create options that can hold more people? We do have a strong home visitor arm and I strongly advocate for home visiting, though a lot of people don't want people in their home, right? But having a home visitor, for example, Healthy Birth Initiatives through Multnomah County, they pair Black birthing folks with a community health worker or a nurse, and that person comes and visits you once a month or more if you need while you're pregnant, and then once a month for 18 months after birth, and helps people understand what's going on in the process, Because not understanding is what contributes to birth trauma. And what we know is that about 45% of folks say, and this is across the board, that they have had birth trauma. And the place of not knowing what's going on, not being listened to, having procedures that you don't understand, all of that contributes to a trauma that takes a long time to heal from, if people ever do. Our financial situation as a state is precarious, right? I think we have about an $800 million shortfall. What that means for maternity care across our state is frightening. I think about rural Oregon, and I think if I were in rural Oregon, could I have a child successfully? And I don't know if I could. Right? As someone who has experienced preeclampsia, who recognizes, who has lost a child, who almost lost my second child, I recognize that when you need care, it needs to be closer than 40 miles away. And as we are closing hospitals, this is vitally dangerous. So, what do? We are together, and we're listening, and we're not denying. That's one start, right? Sometimes I'll talk to people, and they'll say, well, you just go to the doctor, don't you? I'm like, well, we have to work a little bit to help people realize that it's not the same for everyone, right? The experience is not the same. And the stories that we hear, we need to hold those stories to really think about what is the picture that we are living in, right? What we also need to do is together generate options. So, for example, we have the Momnibus that just passed, an element of it passed with Senator Lisa Reynolds, a very dynamic pediatrician senator, and in Oregon, in the, I think the Beaverton area, and she spearheaded the Momnibus, which put forward the expansion of doula care for private pay and that to match Medicaid. And that's a big deal for doulas. Now, the goal is everybody who wants a doula will get one. Implementing that is not as easy as getting it passed, and getting it passed was like, man, not that much passed this last year. With the Momnibus, we also got more funding for birthing folks and babies to not be evicted from housing. Not more funding, but just that they'll rise on the list. We did not get any funding for substance use. While the state has funded substance use disorder treatment, it's really focused on beds, right? Inpatient treatment. A lot of birthing people are turned away from inpatient treatment and may not want to go for fear that their baby is going to be taken from them. So it's short-sighted, like we don't think about families as much as we think we do. Yeah. What I love about the reproductive justice and the birth justice movement is it's the most life-affirming work that I've gotten to be a part of. I mean, birth and death, we're all gonna do it, right? So that is my time, and I'm over.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hunt. We started with a little bit of feedback and questions to guide you. Are there any other questions or comments right now? Any clarifications you'd like to share?
Yeah, it looks like
Yes. Oh, you got it? Thank you so much, Spencer.
That white people can do to volunteer?
Yeah. You know, I saw y'all have a book club. There's a book called Reproductive Injustice. Oh, sorry. No, it's okay. I can move around. There's a book called Reproductive Injustice that's a really useful one to read. And it's really accessible. It's really well written. It's a qualitative study. So that's one thing. So Black Futures for Perinatal Health, we will be having some events, and we can, and I'll let you know and invite you to come. I also think, you know, this in this crisis of immigration right now, people aren't going to the doctor, right? They're staying in their homes because they're petrified. And so I think getting to know the groups in your communities that are working with groups that are being targeted by the lice of ICE is a really useful thing. And to think about, to ask them what they need. You know, I think about the ways that Latinos communities, Somalis are being targeted. I mean, in my own community in St. John's, I carry my passport, and lice is around the food pantry. It's around my kids' schools. It's everywhere, and it's frightening. So I think thinking about like who's active, PIRC, Portland Immigration Response Coalition, I think, is useful. The what?
Immigrant Rights Coalition.
Immigrant Rights Coalition. So PIRC, P-I-R-C. The other thing that I would do, I get so inspired by Jenny Joseph. She's out of Florida, and she's a midwife, a Black midwife. Her work is common sense childbirth. And just that framing, like shifting the framing, is so profound. So just checking that out is really great. Yeah, those are some of the ways that I think. Yeah, and checking on the birthing people in your life. You know, meals are helpful, but really the how are you is a really important one. Yeah.
Well, first, excuse my ignorance, but what's a doula? And then the second part is, are there federal laws that are really bad involved in this area?
Yes. Yes. So the Black Women's Health Caucus in Capitol Hill was the largest caucus on Capitol Hill, and it put forward 13 bills to radically improve maternal health care in our country. Is comprehensively thinking about veterans, incarcerated folks, addressing poverty, addressing rural healthcare access. And so one of the things we want to think about with maternal health care is, yes, the federal system is not always our friend. So local matters. And some of the really important local work that we have here are in some of the community-based organizations that are actually working to connect people with care in small ways and big ways. But I would look up the federal Momnibus, and there are some videos on YouTube about it. And different elements of the Momnibus have been passed in different states. And we're one of those. And the doula. Okay, so the difference between a doula and a midwife. So when you think about a midwife, a midwife catches babies, right? Doulas don't do that. Doulas support mamas, right? So the work of the doula is to meet with the parents, if you're lucky, like now that some hospitals are doing doula care, we're having people meet their doula when they're delivering, right? Which, more power. But it's awesome if you can meet your doula beforehand, and your doula might talk with you about your birth plan. And what are your desires for the birth you're gonna have? How are you feeling? Might talk to your birth partner. How to be helpful. Birth partners are often scared. Talking with your birth partner about what they're scared about. Talking with your family members about how are you gonna support this new life that's coming into your house. During the birth, they might be rubbing your back, helping as you go through contractions, advocating for you in the hospital. I really believe everyone needs a health advocate when they're in the medical system. Everyone. And they are a part of the team. Really good systems incorporate the doula as part of the team. And they very much recognize the limits of their field, right? They're not there to catch the baby. They are there to talk with you about your options as you hear your options from your medical team. And then postpartum doulas are really exciting. People need care in that extended time. And so they may spend time with you to help you adjust. And that may be over months. It may not just be within the next 3 weeks.
Let me just say two things. When I frame for people what a doula is, I say they are labor support professionals, and try to get people away from thinking about them being a stranger, because they are focused on your advocacy and also your physical well-being. They can watch the other child if there's no adult for the other child, which some single parents come into, and they can ease the way. And they also are statistically shown to reduce cesarean birth, which is good for everybody. And so that is why now there is funding to support doulas at the bedside for all people. Many thanks to you for your work getting that going. And I also wanted to add one resource. The Oregon Foundation of the American College of Nurse Midwives has a scholarship fund called LEAF. I can't remember exactly. It's Lifting Education for Everyone. And that is a scholarship for Black doulas and doulas of color, people who identify as a midwife, I'm sorry, not a doula, but a midwife of color, to try to increase the workforce. Unfortunately, we're out of time. Coffee people, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. But let's sing. Let us sing. And again, Dr. Hunt. Okay, I don't want to give up this last song, but I am so sorry, and I'm going to hear about it later, and I know it. So let's sing. This is a beautiful song. We'll just sing it together a couple of times. To start it for you. It takes a whole village to raise our children. It takes a whole village to raise one child. We all, everyone, must share the burden. We all, everyone, will share the joy. One more time, please. It takes a whole village to raise our children. It takes a whole village to raise one child. We all, everyone, must share the burden. We all, everyone, must share the joy. Thank you. All right, so we extinguish this flame burning bright today, but not the love that we share, because we're going to carry that with us. And as we stand half face forward, front facing, this, you know what I'm saying? And we'll just